Welcome to a Mike Full podcast. I am here with my co-hosts. We've got Johnny in the corner. We've got Jaime in the other corner, and already buzzed Gabe in the third corner. Gabe, what's going on? How are you? How are you doing? We started recording a little bit after the power hour started. We're almost 15 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm praying. I was the one that argued we do the bets weekly. No one's discussed about any, so I'm kind of hoping we took a break on that this week because this is my second punishment. And I'm about ankles deep in a power hour of checking beers. You basically pour about a shot of beer for every minute for an hour. But we're doing it differently with every 5 minutes, I take 5 shots of beer. It doesn't seem like much, but you go through a lot of beers that way. Like, these shots are pretty big, and it's 60 shots of anything is going to pull you over. So, yeah, it's good.
Do you want to say how many fights you got right that counted this weekend or this past weekend?
Unofficially, 2. Officially, 1. One
Which
of the
one?
fights. One of the fights I won, but it wasn't against the right fighter. I don't know. Brad just said we get our money back.
Yeah, because we bet on one fight, and I forget exactly which one because it's been like 2 weeks now, but one of the fighters dropped out, and then I want to say it was like health reasons or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they had to replace him with a backup fighter. So we just wound up, since it wasn't the fight we originally bet on, we had to we called that one a wash and got our money back on that bet.
So Gabe didn't really get any right?
No, I got one right.
Which one?
It was the main card, the main event.
Oh, yeah, you called. Yeah, Francis. Damn. What a great like reaction that would have been from all of us if you would have went 3 whole events with 0 right.
He didn't get any right.
No, I got 1.
That doesn't count because he didn't face the right fighter.
No,
Ngannou.
Where have you been, Johnny?
Or not Ngannou. It was
he went for Rosenstruck that one.
No, not that one. It was the freaking Walt Harris versus.
He picked Walt Harris.
No, Gabe did.
No, he picked Overeem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, over him. There you go. I couldn't think of him.
Yeah, don't ask me to remember shit right now. No, it was 2 weeks ago, and no.
And Gabe's already drunk.
Actually, yeah, I think Johnny's right. I don't think he did pick over him.
Mm-hmm. Got over him.
Yeah, no, it was 2 of us picked Harris, 2 of us picked Overeem, and I picked Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just briefly touch on the highlights of the last couple of fight cards. I guess we can really just start with obviously the first fight night, Smith versus Teixeira. Some highlights were Michael Johnson getting tapped out via straight ankle lock. I'm only bringing that up because I like leg locks. That was kind of cool.
Kevin Holland showed up.
Yeah.
And he's fighting again.
And then do we want to talk about Smith and Teixeira a little bit and that fucking abortion of protecting fighters? Like, Jesus Christ. Smith lost teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it later came out that he broke an orbital bone. That seemed minor, but like definitely broken bones in the face. I know I was the one to say like, give a fighter a chance, but the more and more like they play back with the corner was saying like, yo, I'm losing teeth. He's like, yeah, no, that's cool. So what you're gonna want to do is cover that face. He's like, bro, I can't lift my arms. That's cute. Let's go for some leg locks. Let's do it.
So, I mean, it was some weird. It was weird. Like, he was on Ariel Helwani's show, and he talked about it. He basically said to his corner, like, if you ever pull me out of a fight or throw in the towel for me, I'm going to fire you. So he, like, wanted to go in and fucking die in the octagon. But still, like, that was bad. And he said on Helwani's show, too, like, I don't blame my corner for anything. I stand by everything they did. So, like, there's no ill will for Smith toward his corner or anything that happened. Like, but when Glover Teixeira is laying on top of you and talking to you during the fight, saying like, "Hey man, sorry, it's just a fight game," and he's like, "Yeah, it is what it is." Like,
yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, and just for people that aren't really big on UFC or haven't really watched enough to understand, it's not like a lot of different sports where you have a team dynamic, and it's rare that you come back, when you're down a few points or anything like that. In MMA, a fight can turn around in like a quarter, or one round, another round. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning of the first 2 rounds, Smith was destroying Glover, and how quickly that turned around.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny too, because I was actually reading about Anthony Smith back in the day when his first UFC fight happened in Brazil. Obviously, he didn't speak fucking Brazilian, so he was confused as fuck at the airport, and was like trying to find his way around, was lost as shit, didn't have $1 to his name because I think he lost that fight. So he was literally like broke and trying to find his way through an airport in Brazil. And Glover Teixeira actually came up to him because that was back when he was like kind of at his height. And he talked to Smith, helped him out, helped him find his gait and everything. I think bought him lunch or something like that, and had like a heart-to-heart conversation with him. So like Teixeira was Smith's hero for a while.
That's
and then
crazy.
to just get mauled by your hero.
Yeah, he had that fight, man. Like,
Well, did you hear a video came out where you could hear them talking in the ring?
Yeah.
They're going like, "Dude, I'm sorry, man." And then Anthony Smith is like disoriented. He's like, oh, "What was that?" And he's like, "It's just part of the game." He's like, "It is what it is." He said something like that.
That's exactly what he said.
Gabe's drunk.
Gabe's drunk.
Brad said that like 5 minutes ago.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm not paying every part of this conversation while I'm taking a shot. Okay.
Well, I guess just to touch on the next fight, we had Overeem and Walt Harris, where Walt Harris died.
oh my god, dude, he gave his life for that first 30 seconds of him just attacking, and it looked like he was gonna put Overeem away, and then Overeem, for all the shit we give his chin, he held up, man.
Yeah.
He held up.
He was out for a little bit there, I still think.
Yeah,
He was done.
I was just like, how the hell did he survive? If that kick where he pushed him away when he was on the ground missed, and Harris was like didn't get that space, I think it would have been over. But by the gods, that push kick landed and he got that space, Overeem was able to breathe a little bit and recover.
Yeah, what a wild fight.
My god.
That was nutty. And then also, like, I know I bet on Claudia Gadelha. Claudia Gadelha lost that fight.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Talk about that.
Gadelha lost.
Angela Hill definitely won that fight.
Yeah, I was upset with that one.
Yeah, me and Gabe were like, that. Even she was pissed, dude. She was pissed, but she's like, all right, whatever. But she was pissed about the decision.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell she lost that fight. Hell no.
No, Gadelha lost for sure. Like, hands down, Gadelha lost that fight. But yeah, what else is new? Fucking refs suck dick.
So it's one of those things that's like, take them down. Don't leave it to the judges. It's anybody's game.
She almost finished it, but Gadelha, she was tough out there too. She wouldn't go down.
It is tough in that division though to see people really finish a fight by non-submissions. There's just not that much power.
Yeah,
so
it's just volume that just wears on them.
Yeah, I feel like that's Joanna's game. It's like, bro, I'm gonna put as much pressure on you as much as possible. Same with Nama Yunus, and that's why she dominated that fight. But then overall strength came in, and
just knocked her out. Well, I mean, you don't plan that, like that just happens. Like when you get knocked out via a takedown, a body slam, that's insane. Even for like, I don't care if you're a guy, if you're a woman, I don't care. If a girl manages to drop you in the perfect spot, that's your weight coming down. You're gonna knock yourself out.
I think that's why women that have strength do so well dominantly. You look at Cyborg. We'll discuss about one later, certain Chomp Champa de Woad.
Yeah, she's got a fight coming up pretty quick here.
Yep.
And it's not even a strength thing too, like getting somebody off their feet like that. It's all like once you practice and everything, it doesn't take much of your own strength. I remember one of my first weeks of doing jiu-jitsu. I showed up to the mats and it was starting to start with sparring. And I remember there's an 80-pound purple belt. Like, she was like 5 foot tall, maybe. Weighed probably 80 or 90 pounds, like this tiny, tiny little thing. And she was like, hey, do you want to roll? And I was like, like, I really don't want to hurt you. And she was like, I'll be fine. Let's roll. And then literally, tap me out 6 ways till Sunday. Like, it was just embarrassing. I was like, oh, okay, maybe there is something to this. Like,
No, yeah, it's definitely a lot of grappling. It's just technique. But it's, like, I do agree with Gabe, and like even if you're just strength, not necessarily just takedowns, but striking wise, Amanda, Cyborg, when they have that strength, they don't have to they don't have to push the pace as much. They can be patient with their punches. They don't have to be just swarming the field, like just throwing everything. You can time your shots. You can take less shots. You could take less chances, and then all you need is one to connect. Where a lot of girls need that high volume, that high output to get damage because they don't have that strength.
Yeah.
It's the old Max Holloway tradition of just swarm them. But kind of moving on, we have a fight night coming up this next weekend. We have Tyrone Woodley versus Gilbert Burns. That card's not bad. Like, the more I'm looking at it, there's some pretty good fights on here. Obviously, that fight's going to be good. Ivanov, the man who survived a fucking knife to the heart, is going up against Sakai, which I don't really recall ever watching any of his fights. Might recognize him when he gets into the octagon, but I just don't recognize his name. We also
Gilbert Burns Woodley fight, dude. That's gonna be insane.
That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah.
We also have Mackenzie Dern coming back against Hannah Cyphers. Really, really hoping for a nip slip on that one.
One fight that I'm excited for is Chukagian versus
Shevchenko, the younger Shevchenko.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty exciting.
That one's gonna be a really good one.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that one.
That one's a good one. They're both fucking savages.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, just having Shevchenko in your name you're on a whole nother level. And Blonde Fighter's really fucking good too. That chick's insane. She trains with the Donaher Death Squad. That girl rolls with fucking best in the world.
Shakagian?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good. I feel like her approach to when she fought, for the title of her last fight, that she was just outclassed at that point. But I like her,
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. She
had a fight in between to go from like a title fight all the way to like a preliminary card. Is pretty
yeah, but it's like with these stat cards, it's just like they're gonna push people down to the prelims, you know what I mean?
It is pretty hilarious though that it's like, all right, you couldn't beat one Shevchenko.
We're gonna throw you the other one.
I mean, stylistically, they're very similar, so she should be. Obviously, they're very similar. They train together, so it should be interesting to see what adaptation she's made. Because, fighting one Shevchenko to the other, you're kind of used to their high-level Muay Thai skills, and you're fighting a lesser Shevchenko. So that one should be an interesting fight. I'm actually really excited for that one.
I think that a lot of people with Shevchenko, the champ, they kind of get, I don't want to say starstruck, but a little cautious in terms of what they throw out there. Me and Gabe have seen a couple of her fights already. They do a lot of single strikes. They don't really put anything together in terms of combos, and I think that's why, because they're so scared of her, because she is such a great
because Shevchenko's one of the greatest counter punchers in the world. Yeah.
It's just gonna take that one person though, it just takes that one person to not be scared. What happened with Dom and John Jones? Dom wasn't as scared as everybody else. You right there, Gabe?
Gabe, you doing okay? You dying, bud?
That last one took the life out of me.
Oh, it's all right. Well, you got 6 more to go.
Are you really halfway?
Yeah, he's halfway.
No, I'm almost. Oh, wait. I started at 10:55.
Yeah, you started at 11. Yeah.
Did I start at 10:55 or 11?
11. Yeah. So you've done 6. You have 6 more.
You're a little early, but I'll take it.
Ah, Gabriel. Come on, man.
Gabriel.
No, I'm doing fine. It's a marathon. Even halfway through a marathon, you feel the aches and sores, but I'm still going strong.
Your nipples are starting to bleed. You're almost there.
Good thing you wore a red shirt.
So we have the June 6th card too, where your champ of the world is fighting Felicia Spencer.
So I have two thoughts on this one. Do I think Nunes is going to run away with this one? Of course.
Yeah.
My betting advice to those is bet whatever you can on Felicia Spencer because
for sure.
Shit, the odds are not in your favor, but if she somehow fucking wins,
yeah, she's gonna be like a plus 2,000 or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, just throw $10 on her, like you'll win.
I think you would win. Like I don't know what it is right now, but at a ridiculous amount, you would win significant money.
Yeah, like throw an amount that you're willing to throw away on her. And if you just somehow manage to win, you're gonna make a ton of money. I completely
You're gonna be happy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because the one thing about this fight, especially looking at it at like just where the odds can be at, you look at Amanda Nunes, who's defended the title multiple times. They always discuss all the greats. The hardest is maintaining that belt. That's what makes John Jones so great. You know, like the amount of times he can defend it because everyone is starting to nitpick you. Everyone knows what you're going to do, but you don't necessarily know what everyone else is going to do. So, do I think Amanda Nunes is going to like just be the greatest, female fighter? Of course. I think this is an easy fight for her. But as history shows,
Spencer, of course, it's going to be easy.
So I'm saying, man, I'm excited though, because either way, I'm winning that night.
Yeah.
Gabe is just saying like anything can happen. Like take the Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, for example.
Yeah.
You know?
It still is fighting. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Like we talked about the Glover and Smith card fight, What first 2 rounds it looks one way, the last 2 rounds could go a completely different way.
And then after that we have Saskatoon card, which I don't even where the fuck is Saskatoon? I don't even know where the hell that is.
Saskatchewan?
Yeah, is that Canada? Either way.
I think so.
Either way, we've got Curtis Blades and Volkov. That one's going to be really good. And my future wife is fighting, Savage Jillian Robertson. I'm going to marry that woman, just so you know. Jillian, if you're listening, I'm going to wife you up.
I'll be impressed if she's listening. I would be honored.
I'm going to send her the link when we post this. I'm going to be like, what's up, girl? How you doing? So yeah, that's really the only. Oh wait, no, there's a fucking hold on, there's a weird card coming for like a main. There's like a weird main event that's coming up that is. Hold on, give me a second.
It's UFC Austin.
Is it? That's the like absolutely dumb one. Yeah, it's Jessica I versus Calvillo, whatever the fuck her name is. It's like
I'm seeing
the June 13th fight night.
June 13th.
Yeah, it's the fight night in between 250 and
I don't even see this one.
Yeah, I don't even see that.
Yeah, it's not on the internet yet, but it's literally a fight card that they're trying to put together with Jessica I and Cynthia Calvillo.
Why?
Fuck if I know. That's the dumbest main event on the planet. Like, who cares? Like, nobody's excited for that main event.
I would rather see Chuck Liddell rampage again than that fight. No offense to them. 2
elderly men go up against each other.
Yeah. Just because it's more entertaining. It'd be more hilarious to watch that. Hey, I like Jessica I don't mind it, but that as a main event, it just doesn't have the draw or the staying power to keep you to watch it.
I will never watch Chuck Liddell fight again after he fought Tito Ortiz for the 4th time and it just died.
That was bad.
That man shouldn't ever hop into an octagon ever again for anything other than like training purposes.
If that,
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
Bro, one thing I want to say right now, bro, I just took those 5 shots like a fucking man. Let's go.
Damn, Gabe's getting brave.
Bro, dude, I can do this shit, dude. It's going to be easy.
If you say so.
All right. So, to touch on the John Jones versus Ngannou Twitter beef that's been going around the last week, 2 weeks, something like that. It all started when John Jones tweeted asking who would be like willing to watch the fight of him versus Ngannou. And a lot of people were commenting and replying,
Literally everyone would watch
why? Why would you do that though?
I want to know the one person that was like, actually, you know what? I can go my life without seeing it.
Yeah. And John responded by saying, who would you guys consider the quicker and more technical striker? Thiago Santos or Francis Ngannou? If you guys think I wouldn't take this fight, you're insane. I have absolutely nothing else to prove at light heavyweight, which he doesn't.
No.
I love that big money fight around now. Send the deal. And Francis,
he said, "Give me my red panty night," is what
yeah.
he said.
And Francis said, if you think you can handle my technical level, that's fine. But I agree with you that you don't have anything to prove in light heavyweight. And you should, and that this should be for the bags, you know, like basically like Brad said, pay them, you know.
Yeah, pay him.
Because Jones did say everybody in the UFC has punching power, or at that weight, but Francis is completely different. So I agree with that.
Yeah, nobody's got 2 sledgehammers for fists in that division. Francis Ngannou's a whole nother level of I will knock your head off your fucking shoulders.
It's because when you're that strong, you don't need to be that technical, man. Like, I feel like John didn't approach that in the right way. He said everyone has punching power, of course, but Francis is beyond the usual punching power.
At the same time, Francis has been training a lot recently.
Yeah, so his skills only getting better.
I don't feel like we know his technical skills because
every fight's over.
Yeah, because nobody has the chin to witness his technical skills. They get knocked out in that first flurry.
Yeah, and me and Johnny, as John Jones fans, I love him. I think he's the GOAT. I would love to see this fight.
Who do you have
in that fight?
To Jaime specifically, but yes, to all of us.
Let me think about it. You guys all go first.
I don't know who I have in that fight because I don't. Okay, so John Jones, obviously, especially in the Thiago Santos fight, like he proved he does have a chin.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Thiago Santos's punching power is not on the same level that Francis Ngannou's punching power is. Like Ngannou's knocked out a lot of people with strong chins. So I don't know if he withstands a really solid, clean punch against Ngannou. But I just don't know. That's a hard fight to call. I'm going to have to give it to Francis just because I think that dude's like getting hit with a fucking semi-truck. And anytime he connects, he's going to knock somebody out. But I think it'd be really interesting to watch, even though we're never going to get that fight because it's just not happening. But it'd be a cool one to see.
But I would get Francis. I just don't think John Jones has had to endure the power that Francis is going to bring. And we kind of saw like him getting stunned for and rocked for the first time in the Santos fight. So like yes, he survived it and probably brushed it off, but it still meant something to him. So like with Francis bringing his power, I just think it's going to be too much for John Jones at once.
I just remembered Rampage fought at heavyweight for a bit earlier in his career, and Rampage has power.
Yeah, Rampage is still fighting at heavyweight.
Yeah, and John destroyed him at a very young age. And I'm not saying that Rampage is anywhere near Francis's kind of power. I'm just saying I think John has a better chance than anybody just because he is so smart in terms of fighting. He would find his way to work around his power. But I agree that all it would take for Francis would be one clean hit. So it would have to be like the perfect game plan for John, and he executed. He's like one of the best fighters in terms of avoiding getting hit. But I mean, all I'm saying is just like one or two good hits, man. That's all it would take.
But can we be honest and say that John Jones in his last few fights has looked slower and sloppier?
I think, yeah, but I think that's honestly just more because he's more like he's not fighting his style. Like he hasn't been taking anybody down. He hasn't been really kicking or anything. I think he's trying to test himself to see, okay, can I win fighting like this? Can I win doing this? You know what I mean? I think he's just been slacking. I don't think he's – I'm not going to say he's not motivated, but –
Is that booger sugar catching up to him?
No, I don't think so.
I think it is. I think he's got that booger sugar. Gabe, what are you doing?
Worry about what I'm doing.
I mean, dude, John could put on weight. He was powerlifting when he was out of UFC, so he could get big. I mean, he got pretty big. I'm not sure the weight is going to be as much of a difference, but I'm just saying if John does hope to have a chance, he's going to have to use everything. He's going to have to use his grappling. He's going to have to use his kicks to keep that range. I don't know. I would love to see that fight either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun fight if it ever winds up happening in the future. But Dana White basically said that John Jones is gonna make more money on a main card, like a main event and a UFC pay-per-view than he would for that fight. So it's not gonna happen. That fight's not gonna happen.
I think Dana's smart too. He doesn't want to fuck up John like that either.
Yeah, doesn't want to fucking die.
That would be probably one of the only fights that John doesn't have an advantage in reach and height because they're the same height, and John's reach is 84 inches and Francis is 83, so it's not a big difference.
Similar.
Yeah, and Francis has proven again and again that he can close that distance fucking fast.
Yeah.
So, well, Conor McGregor stirred up some shit that we're about to talk about. The GOAT rankings for the UFC.
Do you want to take it away?
Conor McGregor came out and said that, who did he say was the GOAT? Silva? I want to say he said Silva was the GOAT. And that he would shortly be the GOAT.
Okay. So, Jaime, I'm going to say this first so it doesn't sound like you're a fanboy saying this. We all know who the GOAT is. We all know who the GOAT is. And there could be a debate between John Jones and GSP.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it. That's when you look at title ownership and defenses, it's going to be between those two. When you talk about the GOAT of anything, you have to separate yourself. So you're going to look at title defenses, because that means who held the championship the longest, or something crazy like,
who he's beaten,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
now,
Conor McGregor has nothing that has pointed him different other than money made.
I mean, he was double champ for a while.
Yeah. Okay. No.
But
he never defended
champ,
any. No.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he didn't hold two different belts at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still think that John Jones holding the light heavyweight belt for so long and being so dominant in his division, I give that more respect than holding a belt in two different weight classes. Like,
yeah,
I think that's more impressive. Like literally destroying the division to the point where nobody's even thinking about who's next in light heavy. Like nobody's like, oh, who could stand up to Jones in light heavy? No, everyone knows nobody can. So we're looking at these Francis Ngannou fights, these weird, funky shit where it's like, well, clearly he's going to have to start fighting other people because nobody can stand up to him. Like that is GOAT status.
He forced the only one that people really thought had a chance against John, that it would, to go to heavyweight in DC. DC can't beat him. He can't. No. And people actually debated like, oh, DC's going to beat him this time. DC's going to beat him. No. Like, he forced him to move up to heavyweight.
Even DC came out and said, I can't beat John Jones.
Yeah.
I forget when it was, but he came out the other day and was like,
yeah, I hate John Jones's guts, but he's the guy I can't beat.
Even after when they talked about, is there going to be a third fight? And then he's just like, if you're 2-0, there's no trilogy, there's no rivalry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I found it real quick. Connor's top four where he had Jones at 4, GSP at 3, himself at 2, and Silva at 1.
I knew it was Silva.
Yeah, that's atrocious.
Which I don't think Silva's definitely up there for sure. Silva
top
is
5.
One of the great. Yeah, Silva's one of the greatest of all time. That man's a stud. But I don't agree with his rankings at all. He was on that John Jones booger sugar for
hard.
What about Habib's response to his rankings? You're the greatest UFC fighter in Twitter history.
Yeah, read the whole thing though.
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
That was when you said like shots fired, and I responded shots. That was a fucking nuke. That completely
Here it
ended
is.
any
Here it is.
debate about that.
All right, I have his tweet here. In response to Conor McGregor calling himself the GOAT and destroying all these divisions, he said, "You tapped out in featherweight, you tapped out in lightweight, and you tapped out in welterweight. You never defended the title in the UFC or Cage Warriors. You gave up more than GSP, Spider, and Bones altogether. You greatest UFC fighter in Twitter history." Oh, God. Habib just throws fucking zingers.
Oh my god.
My prediction of who could possibly like be in that discussion as well would be Amanda Nunes, double champ and defending it. And if she
for sure.
continues, you know, I think you have to give the respect in that, especially because when you discuss like who's the GOAT of like accomplishes more, but also like how dominant were they in their division. And right now, like in the female just side, it's Amanda Nunes' show.
Yeah.
Now,
And Shevchenko, I would say probably another one that could possibly, you know.
But Amanda did destroy Shevchenko. Sure, she was underweight, you know, and she did benefit from having another weight class created. But I would love to see that run back, especially now that Shevchenko has matured and has like improved. I would love to see that run back.
And
Now-
it could be similar to the John Jones DC, where it's like, one is great, but if you constantly have one beating each other, you got to give the one that keeps beating the leg
Exactly.
up.
yeah,
I
I
agree.
think the only reason that she wasn't, or she still isn't brought up in the GOAT conversation is that there's not as many dominant female fighters.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people who are in the conversation for GOAT for female fighters, just because the divisions aren't as stacked as like men's MMA, just because it's been around longer. I think give it 5 years and we're going to really see a lot of badass female fighters come out. And I think that's when it's going to start. But now, without a doubt, GOAT.
In terms of female fighters, though, like that's why like a lot of you hear Joe Rogan and other commentators say that she's the greatest female fighter ever. Like she
without
is.
a doubt.
Like
Yeah,
it's
no,
without
hands
doubt. Like
Yeah.
she's already won that title.
Yeah,
so
hands
she
down.
can only benefit from having better competition because it's only gonna make her, if she does win, you know, it's only gonna improve
exactly.
her legacy. Like she has nothing to prove in terms of women MMA. She's already the greatest.
No, yeah, she is for sure, and without a doubt, I'm not trying to knock anything from Nunes because she is without a doubt the GOAT of women's MMA. It's just when they're talking about the GOAT, they're talking about MMA, not women's or men's MMA.
Yeah,
So,
and that's why I'm predicting. I wouldn't say it right now, but I can predict that she could be eventually that.
Yeah, in the conversation, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just having two titles, and defend, because right now one isn't even, she's giving it up because there's not even a division.
No, yeah, no.
So she's holding that. I mean, that's like in a rare occasion where you can have double champ and defend it so long just because there's no fights at the one above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nunes is without a doubt one of the most savage women to ever walk into the octagon. Her and Cyborg obviously is going to be, her, Cyborg, and Shevchenko are the only three that could even possibly contend for GOAT status.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on the one that many non-real MMA viewers are gonna be like wondering where she is. Do you know who we're talking about, Brad?
Non-real? Are you talking about fucking Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey's
She's
trash.
not. Yeah, she should not be in the conversation.
The
Yeah.
only reason that Ronda Rousey held the title belt was because there was literally no competition in women's MMA, and she was a judo black belt. Like that was it.
The idea that she won every fucking fight with an armbar was disgusting. Like, okay, I get it. It's not like Tony Ferguson with the darts. It's just like, oh, he does that quite often. That was her one-trick pony. Like, she would do literally anything, and she was just a brute force in a division that had, like Brett said, no talent, and she rode on it. That's it. That's like, it's cool. You did what you needed to do. You got paid, but you would never be in the discussion of greatest of all time.
Yeah, it was like if I fought a bunch of 6-year-olds, I would win every single fight. Like, it's just the skill level wasn't there at the time. But then once you started going up against actual opponents, you went up against Holly Holm. I want to say, was it Nunes or Cyborg that she lost to?
Nunes.
Yeah, so once you go up against actual talent, she got fucking obliterated.
Well, what have happened in the NFL or any other sport if you allowed African Americans to play during the 1920s.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to become the greatest. It's easy to be the fucking Babe Ruth of women's MMA when you're not allowing actual competition into women's MMA.
Imagine if they didn't allow in the Olympics any Olympic track stars to like from Brazil to come out. That you're basically giving everyone else a fair
I think
shot.
you're thinking of Kenya.
Oh, Kenya, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ronda Rousey was great and she did great things for the sport, not to knock her. She brought women's MMA to the forefront, but she sucks ass.
My last 3, boys. My last fucking 3. Who would have thought I'd been this fine? Probably no one. I am turned. Don't get me wrong.
I was to say.
You consider that fine?
Excuse me, dude. I've been slamming these.
So I agree with Gabe. Conclusion: it's just John and GSP debatable. I'll respect people if they think GSP. That's the only person I will accept, other than John. But it's clearly John.
But we are not in the WWE.
Johnny, you have anything to add on that?
No, those are the only 2 I wrote down.
Yeah. You don't have anything to say about Connor, considering you're a Connor fan?
Yeah, I'm a Connor fan. Doesn't mean I think he's the GOAT.
No, I know, but what do you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you want to like touch on that? Like, what Khabib said and everything. Do you agree?
He wants to get paid.
His thing,
Yeah.
he likes to get paid, and then his thing, like I think, just based on the, like he never defended a belt. He just always wanted to move on to the next thing. Like he never like. I think his thing is like, yeah, I won it, so why do I have to defend it or like,
Yeah.
Like he just wants the most belts. His thing. He wants the most belts. Like he doesn't care for defending them. He just wants to have the most. Like he wants to be known as the guy that had, like he was a 5-time champ. He doesn't care about defending it. Like he got Cage Warriors, and then I think that's when he went to the UFC. And then he got the title, went to the moved up, got that title. And then he's like, oh, now I'm going to go look at Mayweather. And then now came back, he's going to work up to a title. And then I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, all right, and I'm going to move up or move down to a class if he gets that title.
I just don't see him ever getting another title.
I
don't know. It's tough because he has power. That's why you can't just say like rule him out completely. Like,
well, if he goes back down, yeah. But if he goes up, he won't.
No, I think
you're talking about McGregor.
Yeah,
they're already in talks of him running for a welterweight title.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I don't think he's gonna win it. Is what I'm saying. I don't think he'll win one. I think he'll fight for it. I don't think he's gonna win another.
They're gonna give it to Masvidal, but Masvidal is getting into it with Diaz right now, and he said he wants to run it back for the BMF.
He wants money. Masvidal once gets paid.
Yeah,
and
that's that red panty night too.
Usman's camp said that if they want to give the title shot to McGregor, because obviously that's McGregor's the money fight. Like any fighter, that's the money fight. So that's why like it doesn't make sense that he'd get a title shot, but it's the money fight for the champion. Like that doesn't make sense, but it does. Like Usman's probably not making that much money, and then he probably got a shit ton off that Kobe fight, but McGregor's like the big money fight, like regardless. And then so they want McGregor, and then Usman tweeted out, I think I had it pulled up. Let me see. Give me 1 second. He said, he put a picture of him and McGregor in the ring, and he said, I really don't understand why you want this man dead. I'd shag him in there if I wanted to, and he'd do nothing.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so and someone tweeted at him. They said, they were like, what the fuck? You literally said you'd rape him in there. And then he liked it.
That's awesome.
Usman is a fucking savage, dude. I love him.
Yeah. I think the only thing I see like Conor having a chance in that fight is if Usman doesn't wrestle like he did against Kobe.
I just don't think he does that.
If they just stand there.
I just
Yeah.
don't think. I don't think he does that.
That's kind of been the trend lately, though.
Yeah, but
For
I mean,
for these like the dominant fighters, like John, like he's been fighting all these strikers, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna stand there and strike with you. Tony did it against Justin. He's a striker. Or his last couple fights, because it's Pettis, Cowboy. He's like, yeah, these guys are strikers. I'm just gonna stand there and strike with you. It's like all these, like lately, like the last I would say year or two, it's just been like, oh, I'm gonna stay to your strengths and prove I could beat you that way.
All right, Gabe, you're on the last one. Let's go.
he just looks like so dead. He's like, "Fuck you! Why'd you remind me?"
Last one. Last 5.
I just don't see Kamaru doing that though. I understand why he did it with the Colby fight, because Colby's a great wrestler too. He's a great wrestler. But I think there were just so much animosity there that he really just wanted to destroy his face and kill him.
I mean, he wants to destroy McGregor. Everyone
Yeah.
does.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he has no animosity against him. He's just going to show, like, look, he's
That's
nothing to me. I can take him down, and I could just beat the shit out of him just like Khabib did. It's like no challenge to Kamaru.
Way to go, Gabe. Way to go. Gabe finished his power hour, everyone. Let's all give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Now he has
Way to
one
go.
more.
No, that was it.
No, I have one more to go.
See?
No, you started at 11, and this was your last 5.
Yeah, he would have 5 more, right?
Yeah, for 12.
At
Oh,
11.
yeah.
No, this is 11:55 to noon.
At
done.
11, Gabe? You would have another one at 11?
No, because he did his at 11, so that's 11 to 11:05. 11:05 to 11:10 at 11:05. So this was 11:55.
Oh, because he started at
done.
11.
Yeah, so he's done.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah, you're done. You're done.
Sure, man.
No.
Cool.
Math.
Yeah, no, exactly. You just did your 12 o'clock one because you're doing
Hey,
5 minute
Brad, he
increments
wants to
starting
take
at
5 more.
11:55.
Leave him.
If you want to take 5 more shots, you can.
You better
but you're
fucking
doing
believe I'm
5
gonna take
extra.
5 more. If I ain't do 5 more, I don't feel confident that I did this fully.
All right, well, that's how math works. So,
All right, so yeah, I think we closed that debate. If there even was one, McGregor is a clown.
he's a fucking ass clown.
Yeah, so John's the GOAT. GSP is the only one that could be considered a debate about that. All right.
I agree. The other one, I do think Silva has his hat in the ring for GOAT too. That dude was really fucking dominant for.
Yeah, but
time.
he's like maybe like that 1% of people that you can like argue that.
I disagree 1%. I think he
I
was
mean,
definitely
you know what
in
I
the running.
mean. No, yeah, but it's like I would say John is like, I would say 70%. I would say like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like more than half of it, of like the majority that as in I consider like in the running should be to John. More of it, like the bigger, like almost the whole rest of it should be going to GSP, and then Silva a little sliver in there somewhere.
Now, I also think it's pretty disrespectful that we haven't talked about Khabib in the GOAT conversation.
Another thing I want to talk about with him, I think he could be in the running if he wins a couple more fights, because
If
he
he
will
wins a
be
couple
undefeated.
more fights, he's 27-0.
No, I know, but I mean, like in terms of who he's beaten, you know what I mean? Like I just want to see that
Everyone. He's beaten everyone.
I want to see the Justin fight. I want to see the Tony fight, and I mean, I think he's up there. I think he's top 5 already. I'm not, but in order to pass Silva, I just think he just has to beat like a couple more big names like that.
I'm sorry, he's 28-0.
No, I know, but you get what I mean? Like I think he's top 5 without doubt. But for him to pass Silva, for me, he just needs to kind of like beat these next coming names, and then that's it.
Well, first of all, the Ferguson fight's never going to happen now.
Yeah, well,
That's
at least
done.
Justin,
And I'm pretty sure he's going to demolish Justin. Like, it's going to be disgusting. Like, he's by the time he retires, there's no way that you can't say that he's won more fights than fucking John Jones.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about he's never held the title in another division, he's never fought out a lightweight, neither is fucking Jones.
No, I know. I'm not saying that.
So why aren't we bringing Khabib into the conversation to GOAT?
I think that's what I'm saying. I think he's top 5 without doubt. He's like right there with Anderson Silva.
You said like 6 people are top 5 right now.
Who?
I will throw one more name in there. Mighty Mouse.
Mighty
No.
Mouse. Yeah, but the
Yes.
125 division's not that stacked. Like
It was never that good, so I don't
Yeah.
consider him the GOAT.
But he does definitely get an honorable mention for sure, because in flyweight, there's no way that he's not the greatest of all time. He is the greatest flyweight fighter of all time. Because there's nobody that could stand up to him. That man defended his title like what, fucking 12 times in a row?
Yeah.
I have it brought up right now.
How many title defenses has he
I
done?
think it's 12 or 13.
Okay, he won it, and then he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 title defenses, and then until he finally lost to Cejudo, which was the second time he fought Cejudo.
Yeah, so I mean that man is brutal. That man's a real champ. And honestly, it was pretty rude that we fucking just threw him away like yesterday's fucking trash.
Yeah, that was really
Now
disrespectful.
they traded him for Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Oh God. So bag of chips.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, can I be real with you guys right now, man? I just threw up a lot.
I was gonna say, I knew that was what you were doing.
So you'd have been fine. You'd have been fine if you didn't do those last 5 shots.
That's exactly right, dude. I had a boat of confidence and I tried it out. Oh, God damn, dude.
Yeah.
He trusted his own math with him being a little buzzed.
Yeah.
Instead of other
When I was
people.
throwing up, the one thing I thought about, I was like, wait, Brad was right.
Yeah.
That was 5 shots to 12. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude, that hurt my nose.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Poor Gabe. Power hour will get you.
Yeah,
I mean, you survived the power hour. It was the extra 5 minutes that you failed at.
it's true.
Yeah.
You tried doing some extra credit, man.
Yeah, you should be proud. You should
Dude,
be
it
proud.
was 6 beers. 6 beers. Oh.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Tune in next episode for when we talk about some NFL news. All right, see ya.
Later.